Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video we are going to make some Chipotle shredded chicken. Two of the most common requests that I get in terms of recipes on this channel are, can you make something in an air fryer, or can you make something in an Instant Pot? Well, we're going to do the latter today and make some Chipotle shredded chicken in the Instant Pot. Around 20 years or so ago, I think it was Men's Health magazine that used to have recipes that I think were called like a man, a can, and a plan. Well, that's kind of what this is right here. It's a pretty simple recipe, and although I intersperse some of the ingredient prep within the video, my advice is to prep it before you start. So, let's start. To an Instant Pot, we will add 2 tablespoons or 30 ml of olive oil or avocado oil. I'm using avocado oil. Then we'll set our Instant Pot to high sauté. You may need to press the plus button so it says more. Then we will start prepping our chicken. We're going to use 4 thighs. I cut off any really big chunks of fat and save them for later. I can render them and make schmaltz, which is the chicken equivalent of lard. Once our oil is shimmering, we will add our 4 chicken thighs to the Instant Pot. That's about 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds, or 570 to 680 grams. We're going to let these brown for about 4 minutes on the first side. After 4 minutes, we'll flip them over. Don't get concerned if some of the meat sticks to the bottom of the pot. We're going to take care of that later. And we'll let these go for another 4 minutes. At which point, we will remove them to a plate. Try getting any big chunks that are stuck to the bottom, but like I said, don't get concerned about those crusty bits. Next, another tablespoon of avocado oil. And then we're going to add some white onion, about half a medium white onion, fairly finely diced. That's 100 grams. Scoop these up, add them to our Instant Pot. We'll stir our onions for a couple of minutes until they start to get golden brown and ever so slightly translucent. Then we will add some garlic. 4 cloves of garlic, peeled and roughly minced. If you're using the jarred stuff, that's about 2 teaspoons. Add the garlic to our Instant Pot, and then we will stir it around until it becomes golden. Next, we will add our spices. We have some cumin and some sea salt or kosher salt. We're going to grind our own. If you want, you can use pre-ground. We'll start with a half tablespoon of our salt into a mortar and pestle, followed by a half tablespoon of cumin seed. If you want, you could use a spice grinder for this, but since it's a relatively small job and it goes pretty quickly, I'm just going to use the mortar and pestle. Plus, I just love the smell when those oils start to release. So much better than pre-ground. Sprinkle this into our Instant Pot, and we'll stir for 30 seconds to a minute until all those aromatics really start to release. Then we'll turn off our Instant Pot and deglaze it. We'll use 1/2 cup or 120 ml of chicken stock, and then we're going to scrape up all that fond, or those crusty, tasty brown bits of flavor, off the bottom. This really gives our sauce a richness and depth that we wouldn't get otherwise. Make sure you get all of the crusties off the bottom. I find if I leave any, I get a burn air message when I'm trying to do my pressure cook. To give this a little more brightness, we'll add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then our chipotle peppers. We're going to use half a can of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. That's about 4 chipotle peppers and 2 tablespoons of sauce. I just happen to have half a can here because I used the other half a can in my trial run. For your canned chipotle peppers, I would advise you to take a look at the ingredients list. A lot of brands have soybean oil in them, which I'm not a fan of, and it seems like all the brands have cornstarch. But I don't think the amount is significant enough that I'm really going to get bent out of shape over it. If you wanted, you could mince up those chipotle peppers on a cutting board, but I figure, why bother staining a cutting board? I'll just use an immersion blender. Only one thing to clean, and it doesn't stain. Pulse your chipotle peppers with an immersion blender 5 to 10 times, whatever it takes to make sure that they're all busted up nicely. Then we'll add an 8-ounce can, that's 237 ml, of tomato sauce. Stir until fully combined. Then we'll add our chicken thighs back to the pot. Toss them around gently to make sure that they're fully coated in sauce, and then nestle them down into the sauce a little bit. Put the cover on, set the pressure release valve to closed, and we will pressure cook, high pressure, for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes of pressure cooking, we'll do a 15-minute natural release. And then, using a pair of forks, we'll shred the chicken. This stuff is insanely tender, pretty much just falling apart tender. It's not going to be a lot of work. Lastly, we will add 1/4 cup or 60 ml of heavy whipping cream. This will give our sauce a little creamier texture, it'll cut the heat ever so slightly, and it also emulsifies any extra fat into our sauce. Now let's plate this up. Start with the low-carb tortilla of your choice. I'm actually going to try out this new brand, Egg Life. Haven't tried it yet, review may be pending. Scoop on some chicken, a little bit of cheese. Normally I would go with queso fresco, but they were out at my grocery store, so instead we're using queso cotija. A little thinly sliced radish, a little sprinkle of cilantro, if you're one of the people that doesn't hate cilantro, and a drizzle of crema or sour cream. Roll this up, and you know what, I think I'm going to take the whole plate with me here just to be safe. Here we go. Man, oh man, this is good. Now in terms of spice, this is pretty spicy right here. I would think for someone like my wife, it would be right on the edge of too spicy. For my daughter Courtney, it would definitely be too spicy. For me, I like it right here. I might even go a little bit hotter. But if you find that you are not a big fan of spicy, I would dial back to just 2 chipotles and 1 tablespoon of the adobo sauce. Pretty much melt in your mouth tender. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell and turn on all notifications. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click that join button and see what memberships and perks are all about. Thanks for watching.